This is a very special radio. This is the very first radio in my collection. It was given to me by a friend of the family in 1985. I wanted to give my dad something besides the usual shirt and tie routine for Father's Day that year. I happened to be at my brother's wedding, and this friend of the family said, "I got just what you're looking for." And it was this. A 1937 Zenith 5S 127 Tombstone. I managed to get it up and running within a couple of months. And the first night that I did, and mind you, I had a little help in getting it running. Someone told me on those shortwave bands I wouldn't pick up anything. Well, I picked up Radio Havana, Cuba, and that's what got me started into this hobby. Grill cloth has seen better days. I probably might be tempted to replace it. Cabinet is in pretty good shape. There's a few blush marks here. Paint loss down here on the bottom. I think I'm just going to leave it because, well, it's got character to it. That's how I remember it. And your dial is split up. AM down here. Small shortwave band from 1.8 to 6 megahertz here. And then from 5.6 to 19 megahertz at the top band. And your controls, I believe this is your tone, on-off volume, your tuning, and your band switch. I aim to restore this thing back to working order again. It's time. And I've got the parts for it. Let's take a look at the chassis. Here's our speaker. And one thing I've got to replace is this output transformer. There is an open somewhere that's intermittent and causes a nice little electrical display. I just happened to get off of eBay an exact replacement speaker with this on top. I will be replacing it shortly. Our chassis, pretty straightforward. 5 tubes. Move this out of the way. And one of the things that this thing had trouble with was this tube here, a 6Q7. It kept eating these like candy for some reason. So I need to find out what's up with it. Rectifier circuit up in here. I wouldn't mind replacing all these with G2. Well, not all the tubes, but whichever ones are GT, make them Gs, and I may have them. I don't know. And then the other thing, of course, as with the other Zeniths of this time period, belt driven. Well, that belt has seen better days. I'm going to replace that as well. So now it's time to take the unit out of the cabinet and have a good look over at it. And it's very easy to do. First thing, this is one thing I loved about Zenith. They have a plug. That now takes the speaker out of the equation. Should be 4 small bolts, and the whole chassis will lift out. Chassis is now out of the cabinet, and you can see these 4 things. These are gum rubber washers, which have since gone bad. I now have replacements thanks to renovated radios. So one of the first things I'm going to do, pull those carcasses out, put those new ones in, and the nice thing is it's going to raise the chassis up so that the big black dial is going to be centered in this escutcheon. Nasty old gum rubber mounts removed. New ones are now in place. And here's the chassis. I'll need to be working on this part shortly, putting the new dial belt in place. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Again, I want to see if I have a 5Y3G in here just to make everything look right. And I believe... No, it is a 6Q7G. Okay, I thought I had a 6Q7 GT in there, but I guess not. I'll have to look at that a little bit later. Other than that, just dusty musty. It's in pretty good shape. Now, underside, not so good. This is awful. Still a filter from who knows when that needs to be replaced. This is my original work. That's all going away. I'll have to look at some of this stuff, whether it's going to stay or not, but hell, there's still paper caps in here and all sorts of stuff. That doesn't belong in here. So, one of the first things I'm going to do before I begin on this is our dial, because this is going to be its own, I wouldn't say a nightmare, but I didn't make things easy on myself. Let's just put it that way. The other thing I noticed is that these grommets have gotten hard. And one of the things I did order was a new set of them, which I can't show you in the package here. There we go. One of them just rolled off, so I'll need to go and grab it. And those are going to replace the grommets that are here. Tuning capacitor's been removed and cleaned. New rubber grommets have been added in. It's now raised this up considerably, where it should be. New dial belt is in place, and as a result, we are tuning again. For the first time in who knows how many years. Here's the final product of the 5S127. It's June 2016. Last time I worked on this was in February. Here's the improvements I have made since then. We have new grill cloth. The original one, you remember, was tattered and torn pretty bad. This is the same pattern as the original. And then I also made light diffusers, which I'll demonstrate in just a second. These are what the originals look like. They were made in some sort of plastic that crumbled in my hands, and one was gone already and then the other was on its way. So I made this out of milk jug material and stuck them in front of the lights. All the capacitors have been replaced. Any out-of-spec resistors are gone and replaced with well within tolerance models. And so now I'll give you a quick demonstration of what this dial now looks like with the new diffusers. Still my favorite dial. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of what this sounds like after it's completed. I'm not going to leave it on for very long because unfortunately this has an Achilles heel. The output transformer has been damaged at one point and it likes to crackle and make a little smoke. So right now it's behaving itself. It eventually needs replaced, with a request from anybody, if anybody happens to have a junk output transformer from a junk Zenith, preferably one from a 5S127 or its kind, 1937 model, let me know. I'd appreciate it. I would like replacing it. I don't need the field coil or anything like that of the speakers, just the output transformer that hangs on the speaker. Once that's repaired, this one is fully complete. This is 95% done. It's enough that I can play it. I don't want to play it for very long. A friend of mine thought he had something that would work for me, but it's just way too big. So I need to have something, I prefer something that's close to the time period. So without further ado, I'll give you this little demonstration.
Tonight, a star is Mr. Gene Lockhart, whose remarkable characterizations on the screen have won him a notable following with American audiences. It is with rueful satisfaction, but with satisfaction nonetheless, that the genial Mr. Lockhart contemplates his reputation. Because of his cinematic misdoings, his numberless treacheries, betrayals, and cowardly villainies, he is one of the most hated men in the country today. Our story this evening by John Shaw is called Statement of Employee Henry Wilson. And so with the performance of Gene Lockhart as he relates and relives the events of the climactic moment in Henry Wilson's life, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
Seems to be behaving pretty well, so I'm going to go on ahead and give you a quick demonstration of it. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to see if I can get my fat butt in here.
His voice was cool and mocking. His voice was clear and hard.
Well, I sympathize with you, of course, Wilson. But the error must be brought to Mr. Larkin's attention. It's quite a big...
Was you telling you? But the problem is when people...
Freeze blown, as you mentioned.
Chance the light.
Dad. Daddy. Daddy-o.
There's an easy test you can take to find out your risk. It's free.
Gonna stay and he'd be able to play. And the problem...
This new belt is just working fantastically. I had to rough up the surface on one of the wheels that the belt rides on, but it works fantastically. There's WLW. Okay, nothing's going to be on this band. If there's going to be anything, it's going to be here. Reflection off the transmitter.
Of the God of this world. Both of them.
Out into the corridor and rang for...
Necesitamos latino, vamos a poner talento de hay talento latino y hay otros minorías, gente de color. En las oficinas han puesto bastante, pero...
Well, with that, I'm going to go on ahead and stop this presentation. But this is the first radio I ever got in my collection. Anyone who can get me an output transformer, I would greatly appreciate it. This was my dad's radio, given to him on Father's Day, 1985. 1937 Zenith 5S 127.